have you noticed several power outages across the country recently? I've been getting reports from Kumasi, Cape Coast, and of course right here in Accra. Several areas have been experiencing power outages. Well, there's a reason, and so the ECG MD, Samuel Dubik Mahama, will be giving us that reason in just a moment. Now, in fact, he joins us right now. Why don't we get into it? Mr. Mahama, good morning to you.
Good morning, Kojo. How are you and everybody in the studio?
We are all fantastic. It's always a pleasure to have you. Okay,
I don't think it's a pleasure for Winston. I know he's going to get me with something very soon today.
Okay. Well, let's start. Let's continue.
We're all friends here. Okay. So, Mr. Mahama, look, the lights have been going off across the country. What's going on?
In truth, Gridco has had some challenges the past few days, and to be honest, it's all coming to an end. As I'm speaking to you, I know they are doing their best to restore, or it has been restored, the Trasaco bulk supply point, because I know from 1 a.m. the Trasaco bulk supply point was off. The day before that, yesterday we didn't have to shed any load because all systems were firing and we had enough. The gas pressure was enough. The day before that, we picked gas from Nigeria Gas, and they've been having some challenges, so it affected the gas flow to the power plants in Ghana. We had some massive low pressure, so we had to take steps to shed some load immediately because we didn't have access to some liquid fuels. But that is what led to 2 days ago and the outages that happened during the peak time. We were promised it would have been fixed for the pressure to come up, but as time went on, it wasn't coming back on, so we just had to stick to the low pressures and deal with it as possible. So, in fact, we should have actually put out a statement, so I'll just take this opportunity to say a big sorry to the good people of Ghana, our customers. We should have informed you when we got that information so that everybody could adequately prepare. Right. We are hoping that moving forward, it's not going to happen again. When we have such challenges, immediately we will share with you. Right. It's either we will start putting out joint statements between Gridco and ourselves, because truth is, the power that gets to us at the supply point is what we give to the public. So it's a whole food chain. So I apologize on behalf of ECG, and I also do my best to say I'm apologizing on behalf of Gridco too. We are fixing our problems, and I'm sure moving forward we should be okay. We've taken very good steps to make sure that we have alternative fuels for the next for this period until NGAS sorts out its issues.
Now, what has Gridco said by way of explanation for the fact that there were? I mean, my assumption is that there are fail-safes for things like this. If you're expecting gas from Nigeria, you know that if there's ever a problem, there should be some fail-safe. Something else should kick in to replace that. Do we not have any such arrangement? Are we completely reliant on gas from Nigeria?
So we are not completely on the eastern corridor. We are relying on gas from Nigeria. On the western corridor, we have Ghana gas coming in. But you see, sometimes the distance and all of that also leads to pressure issues. So we are actually supposed to have alternative fuels in the tanks of each individual power plant. In the case of one of them, we had some diesel, but the diesel was also shifted into play to mitigate the losses. We have some LCO that was also kicked in, but it wasn't enough because it takes a lot before the power plants can switch from gas to light crude oil. So that also caused some disparity that we couldn't get the full complements of the LCO. As for the heavy fuel oil, the HFO, we didn't have any in stock. And as I'm speaking to you, now we do. Yesterday we took delivery of some. So, and we have a constant plan in place to make sure that the alternative fuels, we have enough stock or enough storage for alternative fuels in case we have any shortage in gas moving forward.
Is this something that could happen again?
Honestly, I don't believe so. I don't believe so, because I think at this point in time, since it doesn't belong to us, we cannot speak on their part. So what we have to do as a service provider is to come together and make sure that we have alternative fuels in place to the gas, so that we can move forward properly. And that's what we have done with trying to get some HFO for some of the power plants, and then making sure that there's a standby for diesel and all of that for those power plants that can work ambidextrously.
So, Mr. Mahama, for the consumer, the question is, going forward, we are assured of uninterrupted power supply.
I believe strongly you are assured of uninterrupted power generation supply. And if there's anything on the generator side, we would inform you adequately. On the distributor side, which is ECG, because I cannot really speak on behalf of the generators, I can only speak on behalf of the distributor, which is ECG. On our side, we are doing our best to increase the intensification projects that we are going on, the injections in the transformer so that the loads can be mitigated. So, yes, on our side, we'll be doing our best to target these issues as quickly as possible. We're actually in the process of coming up with some WhatsApp lines for you to drop us location pins and details whenever there's an outage in your area so we can come quickly. We are trying to get a way to move to you straight based on faults on a regional basis so that the districts can tackle them. We're actually coming up with a proper formula of that, and we will share it with the general public soon.
Since you've raised the issue of faults, I've got to say, on my own, I've received complaints from at least 3 different areas over the past 5 days of faults that caused outages, and they were told that it was to do with their transformers, so a very small area was affected. Has there been an abnormal amount of these faults over the past week or so, and what's the cause?
So, yes, there has been an abnormal, you see, it's a trend. What most people don't realize that electricity is seasonal, and electricity has days that, especially, let's take it, when it's very, very hot. When it's very, very hot, in as much as you'd want to enjoy the coolness in your homes, that means you're going to put a lot of pressure on the transformer.
Right.
So when it's hot and you have a lot of people home, you are definitely going to have a problem with the transformer going or tripping or not providing the requisite service. We've had some very massive heat for the past couple of days or weeks. We've tried to manage the situation as best as we can, but some customers have been affected. We've tried as much as possible to make sure that we get to those people as quickly as possible. That's what has led to us coming up with this innovation as to how reports are sent to us as quickly as possible so that the problems are tackled within the day. Because some of them, they don't get to our notice on time. So that's also what leads to people not being able to stay or have the necessary power at the right time.
Now, your customer service unit is very well known for the very high level of quality service that they provide. But during this period, I've noticed, I myself, when I called them to ask the reason for the power outages, they were not able to give me the explanation you've just given. Is there a communication gap here? Why did they not have that information for customers?
So on the onset, when something is happening like that and it's sporadic, you need to actually narrow down to what the issue is or what is causing the problem before you actually speak to it. Because if you don't take care, it could even be people stealing transformers, which is something that's a problem that we have. Because in certain instances, we get there and the transformer is not there. As to who took it, we don't know. So we've had instances like that in these conversations for the past week. Right. We got to the spot, the area doesn't have the transformer anymore. Right. So we had to bring in a new transformer. And investigations are ongoing. And then also we found out the other portion where the heat has also led to the malfunction of the transformer. Right. And we had to do the requisite things to get it to work at its optimum level. So I'll just take this opportunity to apologize to our good customers and tell them that, look, we are going to do our best. We are going to do our best to make sure that the turnaround period for faults are very quick, are very fast.
Right.
And we also need your help. So we're also going to try to give you avenues to reach us as quickly as possible so that we can address these issues as and when they come up. Whilst we are at this, let me just take this opportunity to inform everybody that we have officially gone cashless today. In all our district offices, we are not taking cash anymore. Right. So load up on your mobile money account before you come to the NECG office for any transaction. And also note that services do not attract e-levy, so please, let's calm down. It's not ECG trying to push traffic onto all of that. You can also use your bank card. You can also come and then we'll get you a paying slip for you to get into the nearest bank to pay. Right. But as for cash, we are not taking that anymore in any of the ECG offices. We actually sent some text messages out last night, and we are building on the other stuff, and very soon to those who buy with cards, right. You may have to come to our office and upgrade your card so you could purchase power on the app. So that's also going to be happening in a few weeks' time. Okay. So we just want to also take this opportunity once again to apologize to the good people of Ghana for the outages. Right. We are working very hard, and I'm sure hopefully before the end of this week we would not have that issue anymore, and we would have the requisite things put in place for everybody to enjoy power.
Right. I want to say a very big thank you to you, Mr. Samuel Dubik Mahama, for the update, and I'm sure we'll talk again very soon.
Definitely. Winston, this one was cool, eh?
Have a great day.
That was Mr. Samuel Dubik Mahama, Managing Director of ECG.